Headed right into that. That's gonna be a fun drive though. Head into the storm. It's actually a little bit south. Lights down at Lakeland and Airport Road. Oh, well, look at this. This is very interesting. No drainage. Or what drain still, and they just redid this. Hey, good morning, y'all. It is Saturday morning. It is a rainy Saturday morning. When I drove in this morning, it was like tornadic weather, but it has since moved on, and I am in the shop this morning early, so I'm going to get started working on some Kwikset sorting. I realized the other day that I don't have any replacement Kwikset cylinders in the truck for when I'm at a house and I need to replace one that's broken or frozen shut or any other number of things. I know what you're thinking. What does Voca me for Satan mean? Well, this shirt was given to me by a very eclectic friend of ours who is a chef, and now he has moved, but he used to be in Jackson. This is from La Finestra. Tom Ramsey, who has his own whole world. Very eclectic, interesting individual. And this was given to me at the by him at the premiere that we went to, where locally we had a premiere of Guy's Grocery Games, which he was in the premiere episode, and at that time nobody knew anything about it because it was a premiere episode, and he ended up winning. At the end of that party, there is a shot here. It's kind of fuzzy to see, but you can tell that Kim and I are right there in that picture, and at that, he apparently won it. I don't even remember the rest of the night, but it was pretty busy in Howlin' Mouse. And this shirt, when he gave it to me, he told me what it meant, and we just kind of, actually, he gave me another shirt. He had several of these made with different sayings on them, and he actually grabbed one from me and traded it out with one that he was planning on keeping, because in Latin, this means, call me maybe. So yeah, call me maybe. And interestingly enough, I did find when I was searching for alternate meanings to that, I found out that Bosnian means fruit me for Satan, or which would be fruit me maybe. And we all know a certain individual who goes by Bosnian, and the last thing I want him to do is fruit me. Maybe or not. So anyway, call me maybe. So I'm going to go ahead and sort some of those that I have in the shop in the Kwikset and the Wiser area, and talk about some of the other projects that I've still got going on up here. So let's get started. Come on. As you can see, this is my project table. It's a temporary table I'll pull out and set in the front of the shop to sort or rekey large projects. And I went ahead and added Kwikset and Wiser bins from the back of the shop. This is some of the stuff that I needed to sort out. As you can see over here, I've got stuff that's got to go in the truck. I've got that Simplex that I still wanted to do a video for, the knob return spring. I've got a Baldwin area here. After I sorted my Baldwin last week, I had a few leftovers. And back here, we just have some cylinders and some old Dexter stuff on this side. So, even though I've only got half a table, I'm going to go ahead and sort out a few of these. I was working back there when I walked in this morning, and I realized that I needed to do this while I was thinking about it. So one thing leads to another, and here we go. Hey. So most of this, while there are a few Kwiksets in this bucket that actually should have been in the other one, there are also Wiser and Kwikset Passage handle sets, and Deadbolts. So where all this stuff comes from is from jobs where we get called out and people are replacing locks with, say they want to change all their hardware to dark bronze instead of brass. We ask the customer when we're done, we say, do you want this to do whatever with, or do you want us to take care of it, recycle it? 9 times out of 10, people don't want extra junk in their lives, which is fine. And so what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll take this deadbolt that I took off of the door before it goes into recycle, where I take it out of the packaging and everything to throw away before that comes up. I'll take the hardware out, and certain parts of it, like this deadbolt, was probably replaced due to either the finish or this cylinder hole is wobbled out. The plug right here is walled out. Very common on Kwikset. However, there's nothing wrong with the latch. And on bar doors, one of the frequent problems is the new latches has a larger diameter and it will not go into the cross bore because it is too big around. I had 4 of those calls in the last 2 days. Between Thursday and Friday, I had 4 different calls that I had. Either people coming in needing a deadbolt, or me having to go to a house to do that, to put that, put a new latch in a deadbolt. So while I'm not going to get everything out of here, I am going to go ahead and pick out the Wiser, separate it, put it in its Wiser bin. This, unfortunately, due to the size of the container, just became my catch-all. So anything else, like if I take this off, I'm definitely getting the latch out so that I can use it for the next person who needs one, and possibly the interior cylinder and the screws, but that exterior cylinder is no good, so it's not going to get used. I will not reuse anything. There's another deadbolt somewhere. I will not reuse anything that I don't feel comfortable enough it lasting a good length of time. So that's where we're at now, and let's get started on sorting it into its own little parts. So there are basically 3 main problems that you're going to run into on the road working on somebody's house. Number 1, the latch. The latch is going to be your number 1 problem. It will either be broken or sticky or worn out or need lubrication, and is one of the most frequent replacement parts that we keep these parts for. Number 2, the cylinder. The cylinder may be the first thing that goes over the latch. Very frequently on doors that are used to come in the most, the cylinder itself will wear out. So on this deadbolt, the interior cylinder may still be good, but the exterior is surely not. Number 3, the mounting screws. Mounting screws are important for alignment issues and keeping the deadbolt tight on the door, and is you'll frequently be rekeying and you'll find a deadbolt with 1 screw holding it on or no screws in the latch holding it on, and will cause problems with how it lines up on the door. If you have a hollow metal door specifically and you have 1 screw on your deadbolt and it's tightened down, it is putting force this way on the deadbolt at an angle because it is tightening down, and this side of the deadbolt is loose with nothing to tighten it down. and that will cause your deadbolt to not function properly. So the three most common replacement parts are basically those categories when you're referring to deadbolts. Now, of course, you can't save all hardware, especially since this is kind of the lowest cost door lock out there. Sometimes they do deserve to be recycled completely. Even if the cylinder still works, the knob may be wobbly, the spring cage may be broken, which is very frequent, and very frequently as well, the latch will be rounded out from pressing in on this metal right there, because over time of it turning will gouge out the metal here, and this metal will actually chew into the metal there. So when you get to the point of this on a Kwikset, it's best to just replace it with a new one, preferably in the right color. So you can't save all Kwiksets, but you can save some of them. As I'm doing other random tests throughout the shop while I'm doing this video, I found a couple of other places where I keep Kwikset door locks. So I went ahead and added it to this. Got some smart keys in here. We actually have some imitation Kwiksets, or Kwikset clones as I like to say. And I've still got a few different ones in here, but this is mostly turning into a Wiser bin, even though I do have a few Schlage and oddball stuff. So you see where I'm going with this. Wiser's going back in there. Kwikset stuff's going in there. And funnily enough, I just got a call to do a Kwikset rekey. It is still slightly damp outside, so I'm going to put a halt on the video for this, and when I come back I will continue doing this. Some of these will be used for put back together, and so we have customers that come in every so often and will buy all the used or refurbished deadbolts we have. So some of these that are still in fully functioning shape, like some of these Defiance, will have a price tag put on it, and usually it's just based on what I have to do to it. Like this one didn't have keys, so I had to make keys for it. So we'll price that in the $10 or $15 range, and it's usually half the cost of a new lock. So yeah, I'm gonna go get a little damp and rekey some of these Kwikset locks. Hopefully I don't need any cylinders, because I don't really have any in the truck because they're all right here. Got a couple, but that's why I sell new hardware as well. Okay, let's go. Nice rainy day. Arrival. And one of the doorknobs is, let's see, broken, like I was just talking about. So we're going to replace it with this LSDA clone. SE lock and key. Okay. Yes, ma'am. What year is it? Okay, that one may be the $45 chip key. I said that one may be the chip key, and it's 45. Are you familiar with Fondren? Right across from Walker's Drive-In in the business district. I'm only going to be there from 2 to 4. I'm not there right now, but I'll be there from 2 to 4 today. 10:30 to 5:30, but call, if it's during the week, call before you come because the locksmith usually makes those. Some days I'm there till 6. So, whichever day you want to come, just call and find out what time we'll be there till that day. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Thank you. Bye. SE lock and key. Yes, sir, from 2 to 4. I'm not in the shop right now. Yes, sir, I just said I'll be there from 2 to 4. I'm not there right now. Well, we have emergency calls throughout the day. I'm on a job right now. It's probably going to be, yeah, at least 45 minutes before I'm able to get back over there. You want me to call you back on this number when I get back over there and see if you're still around? Or you can call me in about 45, but I should be there, headed back there in about 45. Okay, thanks. Out with the old, in with the new.
You wanna play rough? Okay. Fell off to my little friend.
Got people waiting. Let's get back in the shop. Looks like the mail guys have been here. Let's get back to it. Last thing I did before I left was find a couple of other ones. So we're gonna separate the Wiser from the Schlage to the Wiser to the Wiser to the Defiant to the Wiser, and bring in all the Kwiksets to one area. Even ones that will not be used in the truck need to be Kwiksetted to the other Kwiksets. I'm hungry. I don't think this guy got what he bargained for. When he fell in here. Sorry, Mr. Lizard. So, as you can see in our oh so perfectly timed call for Kwikset, we have the broken spring cage, ding, interior knob, and screws, which aren't too bad, but I happen to have a bunch of them. Let me get rid of it. Also, as in the video you saw earlier, the strike plates were rough, and I wasn't there for that. That's something that they're going to have to deal with at another time. But that particular Kwikset was one of the lovely ones that used the plastic latches. So gotta get rid of that. Old screws, and even the new short screw. Ow, I just stabbed myself with a screw. So anyway, now I am going to let my phone and my GoPro charge up real quick. In the meantime, I'm going to be sorting this out and taking a few cylinders that I need for the truck, which was my original intention, and getting the Wiser put all in the Wiser category. So, see you shortly. So here's the point in the video where you're probably saying to yourself, where do I draw the line? Where do I put all these parts? No van out there can carry all the new locks that you're going to need, all the new parts that you might run across. Nothing out there. You're not going to be able to hold that in any van. So you think, okay, so you may have your own service vehicle, and one part is for this, one part is for that. So you have limited storage, let's presume, even in the largest just van. You're not going to want to carry 3 chrome Kwikset doorknobs just for the cylinder. So you would just maybe pop the cylinder out. I think I've got one over here somewhere. Just pop the cylinder out, or just take this part, because again, the spring cage can break. So typically the interior knob, aside from just being worn out, doesn't really go bad. So really this is the most important part of the doorknob. But again, you know, one of those, maybe one in brass. Smart key, definitely. Hold on to all your good smart keys. Now I can leave it in this deadbolt, and I'll have tail pieces, 2 cylinders, clips, latch, screws. This one is missing a faceplate, which again is very common. Here's one with a faceplate. So in this instance, we're missing a inner shroud on this one. So I'm going to take the inner shroud from one of these, I'm going to make one whole complete deadbolt. And then of course maybe like your older, definitely your, maybe a Titan cylinder or two, and that is for, let's presume you come up on one and this one is just worn out. Have another one that's perfectly good. I can take the cylinder and use it in there, or again if the spring cage is broken. So yeah, we could keep that. Maybe an old Kwikset deadbolt if you have one that's in good condition. That way you'll have an inner outer cylinder. And definitely the latches and the screws. If this deadbolt is good, this one, I would not take it all. I would go ahead and scrap it. Some of this is destined for the scrap bin because it's just worn out, but you know, one in each color deadbolt. That way, if you have to switch out an outer cylinder or an inner cylinder, you can charge extra for that on top of the price of the rekey and save the customer possibly the cost of buying a new lock, which again are not that expensive, but you do have certain customers who are very budget conscious. So if you're able to help them for $5 or $10 extra instead of $30 to $40 extra to install a brand new doorknob, then more power to you. It's again, you get it off job, so there's no extra cost besides you maintaining it and making sure everything works fine. Here's my Wiser. It got all sorted out, kind of deadbolts over here, doorknobs over here, and miscellaneous here, screws here, Wiser Kwikset. I've got plenty of screws in the van, so no need for any of the mounting screws. And I do have a few latches already in the van, so most of this will be kept in the shop. However, it will be kept in its own bunch or bundle of things now, because before it was all mixed up. So now if I need a Defiant tailpiece, and that is one thing, and somebody's going to mention that about tailpieces. The one thing that breaks on some locks, but not Kwikset, I've never, except for Incredible Force Entry, I've never seen a broken tailpiece. The tailpieces themselves are actually, even the hollow ones, very, very rarely will break, but the pot metal or cast zinc, Zamac, whatever they want to call it, this will break off and cause a failure. So while the tailpiece does break or bend on Defiant, not the new Defiant because it's square, but the flat bar, that is one big thing you run into is bent tailpieces. And of course you can twist them back, and most of the time that's cheap stuff for realtors or property managers or banks or whatever the case may be. So just to point that out in case somebody says, what about tailpieces? Kwikset tailpieces, they don't break often, so you know, it's best to have the cylinder with the tailpiece attached to it, like that. So that is it for this. I am out of here. It's late Saturday, and as you can see, I am nowhere close to being ready for this to go up, but it will be something I get to deal with first thing Monday morning. And when I say deal with, it'll probably be scrape it all off into a bucket and throw it in the back somewhere. But I have got the Defiant separated. I've got a few that I'm going to go ahead and put in the truck. And other than that, thanks for watching, guys. Y'all have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. See you guys.